Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Rajajanarandana Yashodanandana Rajajanarandana Yamunatira Yamunatira Jai Jai Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Srila Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Srila Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Srila Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Prabhupada, Srila has two terasata systematic divine grace. ISKCON founder Acharya Jagadguru, Sri Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa. Parivrajagacharya has two terasata systematic divine grace. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Kodi Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakura ki jai. Praise Lord Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopal Gopinath Shama Radha Kunda Giri Gauravadan ki jai. Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Mathura Dham ki jai. Navadip Mayapur Dham ki jai. Jagannath Puri Dham ki jai. Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Devi Sudarshan Chakra ki jai. Damodara Mai ki jai. Ganges Mai ki jai. Tulasi Devi ki jai. Bhakti Devi ki jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Nitai Kuda Premanandi. All glorious assembled devotees. All glorious assembled devotees. All glorious assembled devotees. All glory to Shri Guru Shri Gauranga. Namo Vishnu Padya Krishna Vijaya Bhuttara Shamate Parichata Shamate Namaste Krishna Padya Prabhupada Shaitamya Shri Gaura Karana Sakti Vantati Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Salakayan Chakshuranimitandena Tashmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Tapitam Jana Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadama Tadati Swa Padantikam Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Sri Vasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Srila Prabhupada. Reading from Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita. In every town and village, replying softly, Prabhupada said, he traveled everywhere just as a salesman travels everywhere. A salesman looks for customers wherever he can find them. And Prabhupada was traveling, searching for anyone intelligent enough to accept his message. There is no difference in coming to Australia, he said. The governments have made a demarcation. This is Australia. But we see everywhere as the land of Krishna. Yes. The vision of a pure devotee. He sees everything as Krishna's property and he uses everything for Krishna's pleasure. Not always seeing things as Krishna's property. He uses them also in Krishna's service. Prabhupada is seeing that everywhere. These devotees, Prabhupada saw, knew little of Krishna consciousness. The devotees who had come to Australia originally, Upendra and Bali Maradana, had opened the center and left, returning but rarely. Thus, an entire temple of inexperienced devotees had virtually been left on its own. Since none of the Sydney devotees could lecture well, the daily classes had consisted of readings from Prabhupada's abridged Bhagavad Gita cities, the only book they had. Yet, their firm faith in Prabhupada compensated for their lack of training. They accepted him as a pure devotee directly in touch with God, and they accepted his books as truths and Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But many practical things they didn't know, such as how to cook, how to lecture, and how to worship the deities. They knew Prabhupada wanted them to chant Hare Krishna publicly and distribute Back to Godhead magazines to the people of Sydney. And this they did daily. Despite frequent arrest, they continued with their sanctity. Sincerity they had. They only lacked training. Wow. Now, it's different thing. And one devotee is just posted on his page. When they go to the street, it's a different thing. Harinam When they go to the street, thousands of people just gather with chanting Hare Krishna. They will not leave. They will chant. The seed Prabhupada has planted. It's growing. Thousands of people just gathered. They chant. Boys and girls. Everybody just chanting. dancing. So you see, education month is a festival for everybody, both non-devotees and devotees. It's a festival for everybody. That's how fortunate they are. Just dance. Dance with devotees. Freely, there's no restriction. Everybody just dance as you can. With whomever you see around. It's really very sweet. And I was seeing how everything is going. It's very sweet. Just dancing. Everybody. And then they go to the universities, it's a different dancing. Yeah, people are very fortunate waiting for Krishna to come. Very fortunate. They are waiting. So Prabhupada just brought the right thing. And fortunate people are just flowing with it easily. Without anything, they dance, chant. The holy name. Big crowd. I saw the movie. It's every day. Now some people have been waiting, these people will come out. They have become used to it. Just like, let's say when we used to go to Ejo Legba, people are waiting for Krishna. Ejo Legba is, we used to go every week. Every Wednesday we go to Ejo Legba. Every Saturday we go to Keja. For years we were doing it. It was permanent. Even the chairman of the area boys at Juelegba, one day, so after a long time we didn't go. Why you didn't come again? We didn't stop you. Why you didn't come again? What's happening? So we travel. There are people that wait. When we go there, they have the different group, devotee groups dancing here. Also have their own groups. They dancing at Juelegba. That is Wednesday. Ikeja also the same thing. Once we saw one, it is with the newspaper. It's a journalist for the newspaper. So why we don't see people again? What happened? So people that are tasty for the holy name. People are tasty. Knowingly they are dancing to the holy name. So it's not difficult to understand that this is what is needed. Nobody knows the language. Nobody knows what is it. But they are dancing. They are dancing. That is pure. Because nothing is motivating them to dance. It is natural from their heart. That is pure. Dancing and chanting without offense. They're not chanting to contract anything, not chanting to get anything. Just mood to dance. They're just dancing. Very interesting and encouraging. Vaivadi Devi Dasi. Prabhupada installed the deities of Radha and Krishna and initiated disciples on the same day. The initiations came first. He initiated everyone in the temple. I had Srila Prabhu. One time they gave him a list of the candidates for initiation. So after he finished the list, he started calling other people. Anyone who was sitting there, come take initiation. So Prabhupada, the list is, he said, I know. I know. I have the list, so I know the name here is finished. So I'm extending my list. So initiated. Yeah. Initiated, whoever was around, take initiation. He is preparing the future. Those who are fortunate, they became aware of it. What to do now? Now you have to change the same I guess more time, keep pressure. Okay. And they follow. Even those who in the list, when he says some didn't follow, but those who also came in, some also they followed. So he's saying he's a salesman, is scouting. Where is the customers? That is the process. Scouting for customers. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's holding the poster of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. My goat is so heavy I cannot take it back. If I see somebody, that is just happy price I will sell. And Prabhupada is doing that. I will sell my good. Even though I don't get a customer. Whoever is there, they have interest, I will sell it. In this way, he's preparing the customers to become suitable. Yeah. It's a duty of an acharya. He initiated everyone in the temple, anyone who was there. Even one boy who had just joined that week and had only come across Krishna consciousness the week before. And people who weren't living in the temple, just anyone who was there and somehow serving. He wanted Krishna consciousness to be established in Australia. Therefore, he ready to do any austerity to take it. So he just initiated everybody. He gave first and second initiations at the same time. Because having installed the deities, there had to be some brahmanas. But we didn't know anything. We weren't even ready. The altar wasn't finished. Prabhupada explained to me that he had to string flowers for a garland. The deity was supposed to wear one. I was running up and down the street trying to find some flowers and get some thread and make a garland. It's Prabhupada, emergency spirit. Emergency. The first Jagannath deity installed, it was candle he used for arati. Candle when he used to offer to whatever is available, you use for Krishna. Use for Krishna. That's his mood. He succeeded. He succeeded. See what is happening now. Beautiful deity worship. The best in the world. You cannot find any equal. So he is preparing the future, which we don't see at the moment, but he's preparing the future. What's going to happen? That's what is happening. He's establishing what is going to happen tomorrow. Same with the sacred thread. There were no sacred threads. Prabhupada gave the men a sacred thread at Brahmana initiation, but no one really knew what it was. So I had to run and buy some string. And while Prabhupada was initiating people, I was sitting there in the arena making sacred thread, copying the one that Bali Maradana had taken off himself. I made 5 of them and I was next. After the sacrifice and after I came out of Prabhupada's room, where he had given me the Gayatri mantra, the other devotees said, "You are a Brahmana now." So, you have to have a sacred thread too. They told me to make one for myself, which I didn't because someone told me later a woman wasn't supposed to wear one. We just didn't know much. Who is making the thread? Woman is making Brahman thread. So Prabhupada ki jai. Use whatever is available for Krishna. Understand? Whatever is available, use it for Krishna. That's all. Prabhupada stood with the folded hands before the deities of Radha and Krishna he had just installed. After less than a week in Sydney, he was leaving. He knew that the devotees here were not up to the standard required for worshipping Radha and Krishna. And he knew he was taking a risk in trusting their worship to neophyte disciples. Yet, as an empowered acharya and as the representative of Lord Chaitanya, he had to implant Krishna consciousness anywhere it might take the root. The world was in desperate need. If his disciples followed the process he had given them, chanting, hearing, observing regulatory principles, he knew they would quickly become purified. Is it not? Yes. That's what we are saying that day. No one can chant Hare Krishna and remain demonic. The mantra purifies a person. A person who is actually chanting, demonic qualities will leave us. To maintain demonic quality means we are not chanting. You can carry the beat, but chant the alphabet. That is not now. That is not now. The now will purify. Prabhupada has confidence in that, so he gave it. And he worked. He worked perfectly. Those who followed, they became quickly purified. That is the chanting. He had given an analogy. Although in the material life a man must first become a highly qualified lawyer before sitting on the judge's bench, in Krishna consciousness, a sincere devotee is first allowed to sit on the bench to become a Brahmana, and later, by the mercy of the holy name and the spiritual master, he becomes qualified by practicing. But he won't think, now my Brahmana, he won't get it. We have been given a chance to become Brahmana. We have been given a chance. Even though we have been given a chance to become Brahmana, we should know that we still need to develop that quality. We still need to develop that quality. We need to develop the qualities. One may be trained how to cook nicely, right? May be trained how to cook nicely. So have experience of cooking. That is one thing. It is just one thing. That is just one thing. It is not all. We still need the consciousness to do that cooking. The consciousness to do the cooking is utmost. Not just that I know how to cook. That is just the external thing. Some years ago in Brazil, it was during the business punch. So 5 devotees came for competition, cooking sweet rice for the last day. We had experienced devotees who have restaurant been cooking every day for years. They have restaurant. They are cooking every day for years. They've been cooking. We have brahmanas. They are also brahmanas. We have other brahmanas who are cooking in the temple. They cook every day for years. The person who won the competition after the 5 years is a Bhakti who just joined. You understand? Yes. They were served. I told them, don't tell me who cook. Don't tell me the personality who cook. Just serve and bring all the 5 different. But don't tell me the personalities. So I don't know who did the cooking. So the taste will prove. We'll judge from here. The persons who cook, nobody. They don't know. It's only the person who served them knows. Go to the 5 people. Even those who could, they didn't know which one is their own because they were not there when it was served on the plate. So the person who served it knows. So we tested all of them. Say, who have this one? They pointed. The person pointed. The Bhakti. So just jump. So you won the prize. Yeah. Why not me? I've been cooking for years. I have a restaurant. Okay, I have a restaurant. So I gave it to other devotees also. Now you also check and see if the personality, because I didn't know which of them until after the testing before the person who served the person tell who were the 5 peoples. Other people who tested say, yeah, it is true. It was different taste. Different. Yes. He had given an analogy. Although in material life, a man must first become a highly qualified lawyer before sitting on the judge's bench. In Krishna consciousness, a sincere devotee is first allowed to sit on the bench to become a Brahmana. And later, by the mercy of the holy name and the spiritual master, he becomes qualified. The devotees in Sydney, however, were particularly immature, and Prabhupada made an extraordinary request of Radha Gopinath. Now I am leaving you in the hands of the militias. I cannot take the responsibility. You please guide these boys and girls and give them intelligence to worship you very nicely. So Prabhupada ki he has the qualification to do that. He did the same thing in Juhu. He put the other Ras Bihari on the tent. Stay here. I'll build you a temple later. Stay here. They didn't complain. They stayed. And he did. He built a temple afterwards. It was a tent Prabhupada put. For both material and spiritual reasons. Material reasons, if a deity is installed for a place, irresponsible people cannot remove them, cannot destroy them. So Mr. N was still fighting, so Prabhupada put the deities. Very intelligent, very sharp. You cannot get him, he will get you, and you cannot get him. Moscow, June 1971. Prabhupada His secretary and his servant cleared Soviet customs and immigration quickly and smoothly, and a government tourist guide escorted them by limousine to the Hotel National. The hotel near Red Square, Lenin's tomb, and the Kremlin was expensive but plain. Prabhupada found his room dingy and cramped, with barely space for a bed and 2 chairs. The room for Shyama Sundara and Aravinda was far away, and Prabhupada decided that Aravinda should share the room with him instead, crowding Prabhupada's room all the more. Aravinda told the hotel manager that they will not eat the hotel fare, but will have to cook their own meals. The manager refused at first, but finally allowed them to use of the maid's kitchen. That problem solved. The next was getting the food items. Prabhupada sent Samasundra out across the street. Samasundra found a milk and yogurt store, but he returned to Prabhupada's room without any fruit, vegetables, or rice. Prabhupada sent him out again, and this time Samasundra was gone practically all day, returning with only a couple of cabbages. Prabhupada sent him out the next day for rice. When Samasundra returned with rice after several hours, Prabhupada saw that it was a poor North Korean variety, very hard. Prabhupada asked for fruit, but Samasundra had to hike for miles through the city to find anything fresh. A few red cherries. Wherever Samasundra went, he would have to stand in long queues to purchase anything. Usually, however, someone in the queue would notice that he was a tourist and bring him to the front of the line. See? You get that in Nigeria? You get this in Nigeria? Am I saying?
No.
The first time we visited Senegal. Senegal is Africa, West Africa, Senegal. So I was waiting at the hall. I think that people has to go and get our ticket upstairs. I was waiting. It took hours also to do that. I saw a man was sitting at the restaurant inside the airport. He's a Muslim. He was sitting there. He said I was standing there for 1 hour. He walked up to me and he said, "You have been standing here for a long time. You must be hungry. Please come and eat something." He's not a worker there. He's traveling, and he was sitting at the restaurant there. He's not coming to calling me to come and buy something from the restaurant. He's offering. Just seeing me standing alone, he felt this man has been standing here now 1 hour. He might be hungry. Please come and eat something. I tried to hold my tears. I tried to hold it so that he doesn't see. Because you don't get that here. Yes, Africa, and not far away. Yes, human beings are different. It's a human being. Everything Shamasunda purchased was with coupons. Prabhupada remained peaceful and regulated, keeping to his daily schedule. He will rise early and translate, and in the cool of early morning he will go out for a walk through the old but deserted streets. Prabhupada, wearing a saffron chadar, strode quickly, Shamasunda sometimes running ahead to photograph him. As they would pass Lenin's tomb, a queue will already be forming. Just see, Prabhupada commented one morning. That is their God. The people don't understand the difference between the body and the spirit. They accept the body as a real person. Prabhupada appreciated the sparseness of the traffic, some trolleys and bicycles, but mostly pedestrians. As he walked along the old ornate buildings, he saw elderly women horsing the wide streets, a good practice, he said. The Russian people appear to live structured, regulated lives, much more so than the Americans. These simple, austere people, unspoiled by the rampant hedonism so common in America, were fatal for Krishna consciousness. But devoid of spiritual sustenance, they appeared morose. For months, Prabhupada had been planning to visit Moscow, aside from his desire to preach to the Russian people. He had a specific meeting in mind with a Russian Indology professor, G.G. Kotovsky. Professor Kotovsky headed the Department of Indian and South Asian Studies at Moscow's USSR Academy of Sciences, and Prabhupada had been corresponding with him for a year. Prabhupada had Shamasunda arranged a meeting with the Professor Kotovsky. The tourist bureau provided a car and guide, and Prabhupada and his party rode outside the city to Professor Kotovsky's office in an old white brick building at the Academy of Sciences. When Prabhupada arrived, the middle-aged Russian professor, dressed in a grey suit, got up from his cluttered desk and welcomed Prabhupada into his small office. Professor Kotovsky appeared a bit hesitant. However, more cautious than in his letters. When Shamasunda mentioned Prabhupada's eagerness to lecture before interested scholars at the Academy, Professor Kotovsky flatly refused. It will never be allowed. Prabhupada was disappointed. The next moment, however, Prabhupada seemed unaffected and began speaking in his humble, genteel manner. Sitting in a straight-backed office chair beside Professor Kotovsky, who sat at his desk, Shamasunda turned on the tape recorder, which the professor eyed cautiously but didn't object to. Prabhupada. The other day I was reading in the paper, Moscow News. There was a columnist congress and the president declared that we are ready to get together's experiences to improve. So I think the Vedic concept of socialism or communism would much improve the idea of communism. Professor Kotovsky listened intently and politely as his foreign visitor explained how the Grihastha in Vedic culture provided for everyone living in his house, even for the lizards and how, before taking his meal, he calls in the road to invite any hungry person to come and eat. In this way, Prabhupada explained, there are so many good concepts about the socialist idea of communism. So I thought that these ideas might have been distributed to some of your thoughtful men. Therefore, I was anxious to speak. Professor Kotoski responded with several questions, which Prabhupada welcomed. Although they were grounded in Soviet socialist vested interest, he considered the professor not so much an academician as a pawn of the Soviet university system, much as one political power tries to understand its adversary. The professor was inquiring into Indian culture so that his government might penetrate it with their own ideology. Behind Professor Kotoski's apparent interest in Vedic culture, Prabhupada could see the view of the Communist Party, a view diametrically opposed to Vedic philosophy. Nevertheless, Prabhupada tactfully continued to present Krishna consciousness in accord with Parampara, and he tried to convince Professor Kotoski through scripture and logic. Modern society's missing point, Prabhupada said, was an understanding of the purpose of human life. They do not know what is the next life, he said. There is no department of knowledge or scientific department to study what is there after finishing this body. Professor Kotoski objected, politely, completely. Swamiji, he said, when the body dies, honor also dies. It's a foolish philosophy. It's foolish. When the body dies, the honor also dies. Prabhupada marked his reply. He leaned professor, head of the Department of Indian Studies in Soviet Academy, was caught in a classic moment of ignorance. His concept of who he was no more advanced than an animal's. After only 3 days, Prabhupada's mission in Moscow seemed finished. The meeting with Professor Kotoski over, what was left, the government would allow nothing else. It had not allowed him to bring in books, and now he had been refused the opportunity to preach publicly. Foreigners were not to talk with the Russians. He could go nowhere unless on an accompanied tour. So with no preaching and no prospect, he stayed in his cramped room, taking his massage, bathing, accepting whatever food Samasunda could gather and cook, dictating a few letters, chanting Hare Krishna, and translating Srimad Bhagavatam. Alright, Hare Krishna. Yes.
Some people are very cruel around us.
Huh?
Some people are very cruel around us.
Yes.
What to do with them?
Some people are cruel among us. What to do with cruel people? Give them a distance. You should keep distance from them. I saw one an experienced materialist. He mentioned 6 people that one should avoid. People who constantly criticizes and blasphemes. Critical people should be kept at a distance because they will give you nothing but anxiety. It's all anxiety you get from critical people. People are very cynical. They don't say anything positive. Whatever he says, you tell you, oh, today is a bright day. No, very soon see the cloud. The rain is going to fall. Oh, see how yes, we are very happy. No, very soon it will be an anxiety. People like that keep distance. Their energy will not bring you auspiciousness. So, cruel people like King Bena. Any child that plays with him is dead. That's King Bena. He will not play with the child. He's not playing. Whoever comes in, he's kill the person. Yes, that's King Bena. So cruel people should not be associated closely with. Keep them at a distance. That is how we associate. That's how to deal with the cruel hostility. They only plan evils. That is the culture of them. They don't see anything good. So they are dangerous people. Anything which is dangerous should be avoided. That's how to relate with it. Right. And then he also mentioned that people who are too demanding, over dependence, which is also condemned in our scripture. People, they're too demanding, so you avoid it also. They give anxiety. Just like we do to Krishna every day. When we come to Krishna, what do we do? All directions, everybody, all living entities. Someone do to you like that, how do you feel? Someone do to that. Every woman I see you. Anytime we meet. Anywhere, day and night. How will you feel when you see a person like that? Yes. So Krishna does to all like that. When you come before him, you turn so you don't see. You come to ask me, well, what do you bring? No, you are the supreme. You are the supreme, you want everything. I'm not supreme, I don't have anything. So you should give me. The one I will give you, what I do with it. It's not enough. You're not giving me enough to solve my problems. Negative. This will be avoided because they give you anxiety. There's nothing, all anxiety you will get. Another thing he mentioned that you should not take too much from other people. Don't take too much, more than what you give to people. You're taking, but you don't give also to somebody. Does it make sense?
Yes.
It's an anxiety giving people. Just like they also say the same thing, the cow that doesn't give milk, give anxiety. That's spiritual. Alright? Srila Prabhupada, it's finished? Yeah, thank you.